This is Intro to Cells, brought to you by Shriman Srinivas and Marcus Law from Spark Education. Did you know that humans are made of trillions of cells? In short, cells are the smallest and fundamental building blocks of all living organisms, and are typically microscopic. The modern cell theory has three main principles. The first is that all known living things are composed of cells. The second principle is that cells are the basic units of structure and function in living things. And the third principle is that all new cells arise from existing cells through cellular division. Knowing these three fundamental principles will surely help you in your biology class. Microscopic organisms typically consist of a single cell, which is either prokaryotic or eukaryotic. Prokaryotic cells are simple, single-celled organisms and have a nucleoid instead of a nucleus. These organelles, as they call it, will be discussed later in the video. Just remember that pro rhymes with no, and prokaryotic cells have no nucleus. Prokaryotic cells are divided into two groups, the bacteria and the archaea, which have different evolutionary lineages. Eukaryotic cells are much more complex, with a membrane-bound nucleus. They are the basis of all complex multicellular life, including humans, and perform specialized functions. The next part of this video will be presented by my friend Marcus.
So to start, the cell is filled with these specialized structures that each do specific tasks for the cell, called organelles, much like how the human body is filled with organs that each do a specific task for the body to run properly. Cellular organelles are the exact same. In fact, organs are made up of a bunch of somatic cells that work to run the organ, as organelles inside the cell help run the cell so that the cell can do its job in running the organ. There are 13 main types of organelles, but we will be going over 6 of them, which will be useful to know in high school biology. The first organelle and the command center of the cell is the nucleus. The nucleus houses most of the important DNA code within the cell, which sends instructions to the cell to grow, mature, divide, and even its own death, also called apoptosis. It is surrounded by a nuclear envelope and membrane protecting it from the other parts of the cell. The second organelle that keeps the cell running is called the mitochondria, nicknamed the powerhouse of the cell. The mitochondrion generates chemical energy from nutrients in food, like glucose, fatty acids, etc., to create ATP, adenosine triphosphate, that powers the cell. The mitochondria regulates cell aging and death and holds its own genetic material to self-reproduce. Next, we have the plasma membrane, which is basically the cell's outer shield. The membrane separates the cell from its environment, also filtering what goes in and out of the cell through a concentration gradient. It's a semi-permeable lipid bilayer that lets in nutrients into the cell and releases waste like carbon dioxide, lactic acid, and ammonia out of the cell. The next organelle we have is the cytoskeleton. The cytoskeleton is a large network of protein fibers and other molecules. It acts as the cell's framework, as it provides the cell with structural support and organization. The cytoskeleton's other purposes include maintaining cell shape, facilitating cell movement, cell signaling, and division. Next are ribosomes. They are tiny cellular structures that read genetic instructions and connect amino acid to create proteins. They are found in all living cells and play a key role in a process known as protein synthesis. We'll talk about that in a later video. The endoplasmic reticulum, also known as the ER, is a crucial organelle in eukaryotic cells. The endoplasmic reticulum consists of two types, the rough ER and smooth ER. The first type of ER is the rough ER. The rough ER is a network of coordinated sacs within the cell that is covered in ribosomes. The rough ER plays a large role in protein synthesis by acting as a factory for creating proteins for insertion into other organelles, as well as folding, modifying, and quality controlling them. The second kind of ER is the smooth ER. The smooth ER is a system of interconnected tubes and sacs within the cell that lacks ribosomes, which gives it a smooth appearance. The smooth ER synthesizes lipids, steroids, and carbohydrates, and detoxifies harmful substances. Together, the rough and smooth ER work as necessary parts of the cell to ensure molecules, lipids, and proteins are properly produced, modified, and transported.
The cell wall is a layer surrounding the cell, providing it with structural support, strength, and protection. They are not present in animal cells because animals need to be more mobile than the other cells listed. The cell wall does an exceptional job protecting the cells that need it, providing a brick-like structure to the cells. Next, let's talk about the Golgi apparatus. The Golgi apparatus modifies, sorts, and packages proteins and lipids from the endoplasmic reticulum. It can also be the site for synthesizing complex carbohydrates. The cis-Golgi network, also called the entry phase, is the entry point for proteins and lipids. The medial cisternae are compartments where further processing occurs. The trans-Golgi network, also called the exit phase, is where products are sorted and packaged into transport vesicles. In your biology class, you will most likely not need to know the specific parts of the Golgi apparatus, but only its functions. Now, let's look at some fun facts. Every organism, whether it's a human, elephant, or spider, starts as a single cell. These cells then keep dividing, which makes the organisms grow. Also, every cell, whether it is part of a larger entity or single, evolved from a single, more basic cell. For example, eukaryotic cells evolved from a cell called LECA, or last eukaryotic common ancestor. As it may seem, not all cells are entirely microscopic. For example, bird eggs are actually a single cell, whether fertilized or not. And no, the nucleus of an egg is not the yolk. Anyway, something cool about our genetic code, DNA, is that it is the reason why parts of cells are formed. DNA gets read and translated in the cell's nucleus and ribosomes to synthesize proteins. Also, every part in every organism made up of proteins is composed of just 20 standard amino acids that make up all the different proteins in organisms. Yes, everything from many parts of your organs, to your fingernails, to your literal hair color and eye color are made up of just 20 standard amino acids that make up all the different proteins in organisms. Now that is pretty cool.
Special thanks to Lexi Huang for the support and research for this topic. It's a pity she couldn't stay for the recording, but again, thank you very much. And that's all from us for now. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section and our team will try to get back to you guys as soon as possible. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you!